Hello, my beautiful badges. Messi back again with another live dev interview. This time it's with OliVR, otherwise known as Oliver, the creator of Deckard Renderer, Seascape, CD system for Unity, as well as the VR Panorama 360 Pro Renderer. That's a mouthful, and so's this live interview, which took place on my live Twitch stream, or the w.twitch.tv/themessycoder, where you can catch me Fridays and Saturdays streaming and interviewing beautiful badges just like Oliver. Sit back and join us. See you all in a second. Everyone who's sitting at home around the world in front of your laptops, your Google phones, your Alexa mirrors, your TVs, give a warm and messy welcome to Oliver, OliVR, the creator of Seascape, Decard, and quite possibly the creator of your dreams. Welcome to the stream, buddy.
Hi. So thank you for inviting me here, and I'm really pleased to be in your transmission. I have to say sorry to everybody because I'm not speaking too much in English language, so it's sometimes it's hard to me to find words. But anyway, I hope that you will understand my opinions and my answers.
Your English sounds flawless so far, mate.
Yeah, it's not about not knowing English or something like that. It's like about not speaking. So I really have a difficulty to pronounce words as I think them. So it's,
don't worry about that. I've got difficulty pronouncing English words as well. And I've been living here most of my life, so yeah, don't worry about that one. You're gonna be just fine. You're in safe hands, and don't worry. I think the pictures are gonna be doing a lot of the talking as well.
Yeah, I hope so. So here we can see some of my works, and this is interesting because this was the inspiration for my Deckard Render. I'm usually mostly interested in cinematographics because I'm doing cinematographics for years and years. And Deckard was born like when I tried to remake some things, scenes from Blade Runner in Unity. And then I understood that I had a little bit of complications with real-time graphics. It's not about Unity, it's about really about real-time graphics, how they are rendered. Because we usually are rendering at 60 frames per second or even more in gaming. And in pretty high resolutions, you know. But when you have to deal with a video kind, filmic kind of image, then you really don't need image that is too sharp, but you need extremely good anti-aliasing and extremely good motion blur, because when you drop frame rate, you get it's a motion blur that explains how what is happening, what is moving in the scene.
It makes you sick as well. If you a lot of the time, if you're got bad frame rate and bad motion blur, you're going to end up vomiting all over the floor and getting dizzy.
Yes, also, but it's more like gaming. In cinema, it's a little bit different. So it's we are always watching movies at 24 frames per second. So it's like to get that feeling, you have to stay that 24 frames per second. But for example, if you're playing a game with 24 frames per second, it will be a mess. It's like it's really ugly. and you can even play it. So but there is that factor of motion blur that is actually like having 2000 frames in a second.
So what
I don't know.
what have have you been using? Because you said that you started making Deckard because you wanted to recreate Blade Runner scenes from Blade Runner. But have you got Deckard into a state now where you're actually using it commercially or for projects?
Yes. I'm using it mostly commercially. Mostly commercial. I'm using it for my things and for commercial things. Well, actually, I should probably state this thing before doing any further reasoning. It's like in the last 15 years, I'm mostly working on event design for large events. From it's like from immersion, let's say screen mapping, immersion screens like VR screens and things like that. And in this business, that is event business, it's really important to be really fast. It's like doing TV. So you don't have time to render things, for example. You have to like make animations and do them or do any modifications of those animations in 2 hours before event starts.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
You know, and I'm one of the first guys from 2004. I'm doing this type of things that I'm not using offline renderings. I'm not using like Maya or 3ds Max for rendering because it would take too much time, you know. And I'm mostly using real-time graphics for any kind of these things.
So how is Deckard working? And I mean, I'm still confused as to what is it.
Well, it's imagine I don't know, Eve for Blender, for example. I don't know if you know Eve for Blender. It's like real-time, almost real-time rendering engine that does some things like it's better to show you, probably, you know. Let's see. Okay, today I did this test of sponsor scene. You know what is a sponsor scene? It's
oh, the one that everyone rolls out.
It's a scene that is mostly used for rendering. So this, for example, this sponsor scene. See, wait a second.
Oops. Yeah, we've got some.
Change here resolution. Okay. So this is down on the left down on the left is Unity view, Unity C normal. And here we can see, for example, how Decard does it. It's like, maybe I should go a little bigger. So in some kind, it's similar. It's real-time global illumination and things like that, but it's not. It's not mostly. It's not the most important thing. If you look here, you will see, for example, that Unity scene is rendering.
You've got the one on the left is all like shaking about for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Deckard working its work in a Unity scene, so it
Causes an earthquake.
It uses some tricks to. Deckard is really pretty hacked Unity rendering engine. So it's like you see, it renders this scene from many points of view. For example, because I want for one of the important things is depth of field here. So if you look at this depth of field, you know, it's much better than Unity's or almost. It's a physically correct. Like if I'm moving this camera, see, it will put in focus what is there, but it will respect physical properties of a lens.
So you're recreating actual, as if you're going out there with a proper cinematic camera and simulating that inside Unity.
This is simulation that is physically correct of all lens types. One of the things of Deckard is that one. But you will see that, for example, Deckard doesn't render in real time. So it's like if I move this, you will see another Deckard viewport that is this one. You will see it refresh later, you know.
So does it work like Cinemachine or something that you're? What do you?
It works
with.
Use it? For example, if I'm using Cinemachine, then it will you create your animations. You can record it in Cinemachine and then bring it down to rendered footage. So it's like your final destination is rendering video. It's not anymore real-time graphics. Even if my opinions are that in few years we will be able to use this technology even for real-time, completely real-time. For example, if I change here some parameters, you see it refreshes much faster and things like that.
Do you think is this with HDRP is going to make a difference to getting this into real time?
No, at the moment, no. It's not about that. This works with HDRP or with everything, but it's a completely different approach. So it's an approach that eliminates completely anti-aliasing issues. So maybe I should zoom here. I'm not sure how much we can see this on. Okay, this is a normal image. This is a Deckard rendered image. So there is no same section. Yeah, you can see that in Deckard there is no any anti-aliasing issues. It's completely like doesn't have any.
We've got people in chat already saying, "I'm sold already." I might.
We don't make mistakes.
I'm thinking
we have happy accidents.
Like I would be using this for some like how to make beautiful cinematographic cutscenes or promo videos.
Yeah. It's for people like me that have to render cinematic quality animations, animations on scenes, everything for a fraction of time that is possible right now with other rendering systems. Eve is pretty Blender Eve. It's pretty powerful, but it's still less. It still has less quality of Deckard, and it still has longer times to render, for example. So here, you see, how can I show you here better what is happening?
Put a dragon
let's
on
say,
it.
let's change lighting so that it, this
I
is
was gonna say, like,
sunlight, for
yeah, because
example.
we're not seeing any shadows from the beams or the pottery coming through. There we go.
What shadow? Oh, yes. For example, okay, this isn't. Wait. So if I'm changing these values, you will see that. But for example, it also adds the possibility in Unity to use for this type of things. For example, soft lights, soft. Let's change the scene because this one probably isn't the best one. The best one. No, I will show you in a simple scene. So
Would
this
this
is
have any problems with assets that do like volumetric fog and lighting? Would it still work?
it works with everything that works in Unity, but with one. For example, there are good rendering engines that work in Unity, like Octane, but it requires their own shaders and it requires you can't use custom shaders and things like that. While with Deckard, you can even improve the quality of any effect in Unity. Mostly effects like I don't know, ambient occlusion or things like that are unstable, let's say.
I thought this was just for VR when I first saw it. I didn't realize it was basically for everything.
No, it's not for it's not. No, my other asset is for VR. It's VR panorama. That is a pretty good asset for doing 360 animations. Okay, but this one is mostly for doing cinematic work.
Could you do a VR video using Decard?
At this moment, no, but there are some things that can be done. For example, I'm working on the. Wait, I will switch the camera. You see this? You know what is this? This is a looking glass. It's a device that does holographic images. It is really similar to some effect to a VR because you can see here real three-dimensional image in this space, you know. For example, Deckard can be used for doing things for this one by using light fields. I don't know if you know what is a light field.
No, tell me what sounds like something out of Star Wars.
Well, yeah, it's something like a holographic thing. It's a set of the images, like you're not making one image for example, in full resolution, but you're making, for example, 100 images in the lower resolution, and then you're assembling them, but every image is from another angle. So you are getting a holographic representation of an object. And it's perfect, for example, for sprites, three-dimensional sprites. They can be really incredible with this technology.
Ooh. Because
you can bake three-dimensional object to a 2D plane. This is really pretty powerful.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, right now there aren't many things that I'm working also on on the system for those 3D sprites. For example, it will be great for VR when you have to, for example, render grass, and you
Ooh.
could create just 2D planes but see them through VR like three-dimensional object.
I really need to get my wife to convince her to let me buy a VR headset.
Yeah. Let's see. I will switch to this scene. I will show you just a stupid thing like this is a 3D object, one plane, one cube, you know, just to make you see more or less what is happening here. So I'm adding to this camera Deckard Render component. It's a Deckard Render component. It's a like Deckard camera. I'll move this camera a little bit here. Okay, here. Try. Wait a second. Sorry, but I'm here. And you can see this is a normal shadow in Unity. Like you can do from a direct light. But if I had this soft shadow component, Deckard soft shadow. Wait a second, you have to look here. You will see like this shadow becomes completely. I will put down this crank up. I have to crank up quality. It becomes soft shadow.
If somebody doesn't have any cinema background, any background in video effects or lighting or cameras, anything like that, how long will it take them to sit and learn and get the most out of Deckard?
It's like if they understand Unity, they will do it immediately. It's not. It is mostly transparent to Unity. It's like Deckard. Okay. This is, for example, one of the secondary effects that is illumination that is like global illumination, sort of ambient occlusion, but it's not ambient occlusion. It's better than ambient occlusion because it follows real rules of the. You see. For example, if I'm putting, I don't know how much you're working with shadows in Unity and things like that, but
yeah, putting shadows on things in Unity tends to kill your project.
Yeah. So this improves really very well on shadows because you can get precise shadows, detailed shadows, or diffuse shadows like this. And this, from my experience, mostly important for any type of simulation of global illumination that we are using right now. But it can be pretty hard. You see, this can. I don't know how much. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I want to sit there and play with it. But I mean,
yeah.
What I want to know is like how are you doing all this magic is inside with Decard? I mean, what's going on under the hood?
Under the hood, there is it's a multipass rendering, so-called multipass rendering. So it's not a new technology. It's not nothing new. It exists from the 90s. You know, when I started working in real-time graphics, I used similar things, but it's only how it was implemented that it gives a little bit more flexibility. So let's say, what can I show you? Because there are some things that are hard to show like this, you know, in 2 seconds. It's mostly about that multipass renderings are used or for doing depth of field effects. So like here, we can set depth of field.
What's the most ambitious thing you've used Deckard on? The craziest project that you've done so far?
It's probably no. I can't speak about this project. Yeah, but
one that you're not tied under an NDA for, that you're going to get sued for. Choose one you're allowed to talk about.
It's not about NDA, but I don't want to spoil anything. But anyone who knows about Unity, I think that everyone will have an opportunity to see it. I hope so.
Oh, again, you've got me all excited now. You've got something secret going on.
Yeah. But it's still a project. I'm working on this one.
All right, if you forget the super secret magic one, what's the second one that you've worked on that you're most proud of, or like pushed you?
No, probably this one. Wait, there is. Wait, where is my train? My train project. It's.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
It really had something like million views on Twitter, so it's really.
That just looks like a video.
I can open it. Train. So I have to see. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I can tell you about this project because this, for example, explains why I'm using why I'm using also Deckard and why anybody should use it. For one simple reason, wait a second, because I have to redefine here Deckard. Remove component. Okay.
Is that a Seascape city in your scene?
Yes. Deckard. Okay, camera. No. Remove component. Sorry. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong things.
Don't break it.
Deckard. Okay. So this is my train scene. And why it's important? Because I started working on this scene many years ago, and decided to try out some things in Deckard. It was how to say, it was made for VR. But I never released it as a project. So I wanted to, let's use it to do some tests with Deckard. But then afterwards, when I'm working with Deckard, I have a better response to how lighting should look, really. So thing is that I can tune better lighting while working with Decard. So I can see, okay, this light, for example, soft lights aren't like that. They should be set differently. And or, for example, one of the features of Decard is that it simulates how the light behaves in the sensor of a camera. I will show you this small difference. This is, for example, how Unity will render lights, colors. It's an RGB space, you know. But when you go to something like a film, colors are much more desaturated, and they have a different quality to them, you know.
So like if normally what people would be doing is like using post-processing, sticking color correction and load of
Yeah, but
filters on there.
post-processing is a good thing if you know what are you trying to do. You know, it's like, but post-processing is from where it comes. In Unity, post-processing comes from things like Premiere or better DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a software that is used in the whole industry for color matching, for color correction. I'm a big user of that software and Blackmagic cameras, professional cameras that are pretty good. What I did, I sampled colors like they're coming from the real world into a camera, and then made these modifications for Unity. So it's like it will see light as it behaves similar to what camera sees. For example, this is how Canon camera sees. This is how Blackmagic 4K Blackmagic Pocket camera sees. This is how Alex Ari sees it. There are many. This is how film sees Fuji or Kodak or things like that. So it's sampled the real response to real colors,
So
and not to RGB.
That's when I thought, when we were actually watching this video last week on the street. And we're like, well, is it a video on a train? What is it? And they were like, this isn't Unity. They're like, yeah, apparently it's inside Unity. None of us could believe it because it just looked like we were watching a video from the film.
Yeah, but this is also because Deckard recreates this type of motion blur that is cinematographic, you know. Because if I turn off Deckard here, you know, it's like still a good render. It still has a good quality, you know. It's not like that. It isn't real, you know, but it isn't real. I don't know how to explain this. It's like, wait a second, I will try to find where is the animation system for this. Okay, I have to turn off Deckard. Okay, Deckard. Okay, turn off Deckard. Okay, and if I play this one, so it will be much more like a gaming. Let's wait until it loads. Oh no, I think I have here some other scripts that are sorry about. Okay. Okay, because this was set for VR.
So
but
you said before about Decard not being for VR, but is this project working in VR then with Decard and your panoramic VR?
Yeah, without Deckard, it's working. It will be a little bit different, like rendering, but in VR, it looks okay. It looks really nice. It's not like a thing that. Yeah, and I have here also my city, but I have it, for example, to do. Okay, this is like a stupid thing, but. For example, my train is static here, but I'm moving a city.
I was going to ask
so
you
it's
if that's what you were doing.
Contrary, you know, yeah. Because you can use global illumination on static objects in Unity, real-time global illumination, things like that. But you can't use it on a moving object. So I'm keeping train static, and I'm just moving a city. So it's like, wait, where is that one? I'm trying to find. Sorry, I didn't look at this project. It was pretty messy because most of my projects that I'm doing in 4 hours time. So it's like I'm not trying to, okay, timeline. Okay, timeline. Okay, you see this. These are some animations. Yeah, it's not nothing special. But this is in real time in Unity, so it's. It looks good, but it wouldn't look this way if there wasn't a Deckard, because of the motion blur. You know.
So how long did it take you to make Deckard?
It's always a work in progress because the base of my technology is pretty powerful, so it lets you do things. So right now I'm doing elimination, things like that, but I don't know really. I thought that I finished this one, Deckard. I thought that I finished it 1 year ago, but because I started working on Deckard, and then in 1 month I had it finished. I thought that it was finished. Okay. Then I continued to work on it and adding new features and new workflows. So it's like, for example, right now I have added possibility to wait. Deckard, where is my Deckard? Deckard Render. Sorry, I'm so. Yeah, I'll open this sponsor scene. Wait a second. Trade sponsor. Where is it? I'm sorry about.
So these extra features that you add on Deckard, are they requests from other people, from things you need from when you're working in the industry? That you're like, oh, I need to add this project that I'm working for this client means I need to add a feature.
Okay, this is an interesting question because most of my assets were made for my own necessity. Actually, all of the assets were made for my own necessity. So it's like I know that I need this thing and there isn't anything, so I'm going and I'm implementing this for myself. Then I'm showing to someone or I'm putting on the internet, social media, social platforms, and then everybody says, "Oh, I want this thing." Okay, then let's try and make it. You know, so. But the main problem is that when you're making for yourself something, I'm mostly spending not so much time, you know. It's like
it doesn't
few
have to be
days.
perfect when it's for yourself, does it?
You
don't need to have editor windows and it doesn't have to be easy to understand because you know how it works because you made it.
Made work there, for example, on Deckard and VR Panorama, it was an interface, you know, that it has to be clear. And that because when you're putting something on asset store, for example, or you have to write kilometers of manuals that nobody at the end nobody reads it, so it's like a big problem. Or you have to make an interface that is pretty self-explanatory. So, for example, my main problem with Seascape is that I always wanted to make a manual, but I never find a real manual for Seascape should be something like 500 pages. and I don't have any physical time to do this thing. And also, for example, Seascape was I made it for myself because mostly in those events, you know, corporate events, everybody wants cities, rendered cities. It's like a classical thing. You have to do some animation with a city in background or city that continues to grow or things like that. So I made Seascape for my own purposes.
Do you remember how to use it when you load it?
If I remember.
Yeah.
No. My problem with Seascape a little bit is that people, most of the users are trying to get something that is finished, like, okay, do everything for me.
You mean
But
make my game button?
Yeah, make my game button. So and this is for me it's a little bit frustrating. Source of frustration because Seascape in reality was made like a building generator, optimized building generator that then the other thing, secondary thing was that I implemented later, only later, was like, okay, let's build some streets and build some structures, you know. But building a city is a big thing, you know. It's not so easy to do something like that, you know. GTA spent I don't know how many millions on building old cities and for artwork. So I'm expecting more from my users, trying to customize things here and to understand
You
potential.
shouldn't expect things from people when they buy stuff, mate.
No, of course it's not like that. No, it's like
They want to buy an asset for $50 off the asset store and make a $1 million worth of GTA. That's what people want. And if you don't give it to them, they'll give you 1 star on the reviews. It's that.
Yeah, and that's a little bit. It's not like I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I must admit, sometimes I'm a little bit frustrated with some things that, like, I'll explain few things. Yeah, maybe we can try to speak about this also. For example, this is a scene that I made in a few hours with the help of Seascape. It's a new version. So it uses some custom shaped buildings. You see, I don't know. Okay, yes.
People in the chat are talking about Seascape 2. Is that a thing?
This is a feature of Seascape 2. By the way, anyone who has Seascape can ask for this one, but it isn't yet finished, so I'm waiting to include it into a final version, because when you have a system like a complex like a Seascape, any new version could break previous versions. And that's why my project became a little bit complex right now, because I have to test if it works with old features and if it doesn't work with old features.
Wow, that's a lot of regression testing that you're having to go through.
Yeah, so it's yeah.
How long have you been working on Seascape 2 then?
No, it's not about time. It's about thinking more. It's not how to organize everything. So it's like,
So you said anyone who's got Seascape 1 can get their hands on this version, but how do they email you? How they request it?
yeah, they email me with their invoice, and I can send. It's not like it's a new version. It's there are some things that are different and some things that are upgraded. For example, this is one of the things is the custom buildings. So I can, for example, make any building plan. You see when I move this, so I don't have to use I don't know. Yeah, okay. I will add, for example, here another corner,
Oh,
and I can move it, and I can move it, this. So if this corner is too small for things to fit, then it will automatically make a wall from that and things like that. So it's like, but it's more targeted. All these features are targeted to creative people, like anyone who wants to customize it really, you know. I'm not working so much on city layouting because there are some problems, especially with gaming. You know, it's like everybody would like to have streets that aren't parallel or mostly parallel, but if you're targeting high quality imaging, like high quality reflections, things like that, then not having parallel streets is a problem. It's a problem for global illumination. It's a problem for reflection probes because, for example, if you know in Unity, if you create a reflection probe, let's say create where it was a reflection probe. You know, reflection probe can't be rotated. It will always stay on one axis or the other. I can resize reflection probe, but you can't rotate it, you know. So some things that are important for rendering city are probably those.
so the
Yeah,
building
that
the buildings that you're making with Seascape. Sengoku's just asking in chat the same question I was about to ask. Is this is for primitive and not complex buildings?
What they are not? No, they are not complex. Let's say I will turn here on frame. This is a wireframe of a building. Building has something like, I don't know. Let's see how much. 119 triangles. This building.
So it's not like you can go and grab a mesh and throw it into Seascape, and now you'll have a city of custom meshes from models that you've picked up off the asset store or anything like that.
No, you okay. Primary idea behind Seascape was that it should be used as backdrop, as a thing that you know, seen from far, or like you're making. Let's say, okay, let's do it like this. Imagine we have here one floor, okay. That this floor maybe could be modeled fully, not used by Seascape. even if Seascape uses this parallax occlusion mapping, so it looks three-dimensional. It has insides of the houses, things like that. But maybe game designer would want its model to be there, okay? And then you use Seascape to, for example, create another, wait a second, to create, sorry, okay, to create another building, okay, or part of the building on the top, and customize it. So it's like, okay, I'm using two buildings, one on top of the another, but creating completely new, wait a second, oops. Okay. Those arrows are, okay. Yeah, you will see here because I'm, okay.
Some sneaky arrows.
So I'm taking this building. Imagine that this building down was made by custom made, and this one is used by Seascape. So when you look from down, this building will look perfectly. And then with the Seascape, I can change colors, change facades, change any type of wait a second, okay, parameters here, open or close blinds, and add some
are they able to
lighting.
have animated lights, like people turning lights off and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. In this case, okay, right now I'm not using a complex scene, but okay, let's open Seascape demo, Seascape.
When you were moving around with those windows, I could almost imagine like someone walking up to the window and shutting the curtains. Like, stop! What are you doing, looking in my house?
Yeah. And for example, what is important? This new system, for example, gives us possibility to use OpenStreetMap building layouts, so that you can take a real city and let's see here. Here we have one Seascape measure. Let's OpenStreetMaps. This is a system that you can download your city, plans of a city from an OpenStreetMap site, and it will. There are some plugins that can import this one. I have used here one of the plugins that are free, and I won't be integrating this into Unity like plugin for or importing these buildings, but I have here my system that practically, if I click here on execution, it will substitute these buildings with Seascape buildings. But you will see here, wait a second, I have here pretty strong post-processing. You will see the main problem why it's hard to import any data from those platforms like Google Streets or things, because they have too many things that maybe aren't necessary. You can see here, for example, that we have too many vertices here that we don't need. So idea behind this is you can take this and import and delete those points that probably aren't needed for a game, because they will add always some sort of or to fix some edges, because this one is horrible. You know, like if you have to deal with data like this. I wanted to automate this process, but it's impossible to automate.
Yeah, exactly. You can only
So
automate it if you
have to
hire
do
someone
it.
to do it.
I made some tools for fixing these issues. So it's like, okay, let's go here manually, just click on those points and try to fix them. You know.
You know when you were just showing like the idea of having a 3D mesh on the ground floor and Seascape for the upper parts. Using something like this, are you able to then go, okay, I'm generating my Seascape buildings and they're going to be elevated above the ground by so many meters, and then below them will be a placeholder Seascape mesh or object that can be replaced? Or do I have to manually place everything and then manually move everything up a bit?
No, sorry, I didn't.
So like now that's on the ground floor, so that's touching the floor.
Yeah.
But like you said about generate a whole city, but have the ground floor as 3D meshes. It's like now I need to grab all of those Seascape buildings and manually lift them up, or is that done automatically? Is there an option that you can say have Seascape buildings?
At the moment, I don't have, but I could make it because it's not a it's a pretty simple thing to position on the ground. You know, like for example, so you have only to, for example, if you have a terrain, so you have to create a script that iterates all the buildings and say okay, go set this building to certain height. For example, I have it could be done, but the problem is that all those things always require some tinkering. So it's like it's not you have to set layers, collision layers always. Because how would the Seascape know where it should place some things? You know.
Is Seascape only working on the flat ground? So
yeah.
Or can Seascape place buildings on the terrain, or is it only on?
Seascape works on the flat ground, but my main problem is. Seascape is not made for streets. You know, you have, for example, road. How it's called?
Easy roads.
Easy roads, you know, and but a problem is even with easy roads, it's a extremely nice asset and everything, but you can't make a city that has a complex streets. You know, with easy roads, you can you can make it, but it won't be optimized.
Yeah.
So my main concern always is like, okay, let's try something that works, but is optimized. Here, everything is in Seascape, everything is optimized. This is, for example, how right now it works. So I'm generating layout. So it's a pretty artistic. It can be pretty artistic process.
Well, your background originally, you're an artist, aren't you?
Okay, so for example, I can say here, okay, I don't want. Well, okay, I don't want any river. Okay, but I don't want any river here. So let's make generous.
You can put a river on there.
What?
You can put a river.
Yeah. But you didn't try Seascape.
No, I've been waiting to do it together with you. I loaded it
Yeah,
up
so
once, and then I looked at it, and I was like, okay, I'm confused. And then I went looking
So
for a 500-page manual.
So my main base thing is like, okay, I'm making I should probably turn off some I will turn off some processing because we have fog here. Oh, so for example, this is a simple like street layout that can be produced with Seascape, or we can, for example, say, okay, we want the river in the middle of this. Then I should go here, okay, here, center river, and say where is the river position. So it's like I have number of blocks, 17, 19 blocks. This should be something like a pretty big city. And then general street layout. Okay. And I said that I wanted to river to be positioned in the middle, you see. So here we have a here we have a river. Let's say animated. Okay, so it will generate all the bridges and things like that. But it's pretty how to say, pretty basic thing. So maybe we have here too much bridges. Maybe we have to. So what I will do, what I'm usually doing, I'm deleting one bridge, and I don't know. I can delete this one. So it's like. Well, you can move these things around. So if I generate, let me see here, generate street layout, okay, and I don't want my city to be quadratic like this, so I can delete every.
No.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, let's start from a general patch and let's delete some things to meet some type of chaotic city. It's like, oh, okay, no, we don't want it like that. Okay, so tack. Okay, so and this will be our streets. Okay, and then what is my artistic approach? Like, okay, I'm going here onto this patch and say generate block. It generates my block. So I can look here and say, okay, this building maybe shouldn't be there, you know, because it's quite difficult to, without using some advanced artificial intelligence. And I was exploring also these things, how to use the artificial intelligence, but then I said, okay, it's too complex, and in that case, my asset should cost something like 2,000 euros and not 50. So you're generating this kind of street. So I can say here, okay, it's not what I really like. I want some bigger distance between buildings. General block, you see, it will generate all the distances. Or I can, I want that my sidewalk is bigger. It will move all the buildings here. So it's like, can you go this way for every block? That is a basic idea. But most of the user doesn't use it. So I will have to, it's nice to explain right now that it can be done. So there are some buildings that, oh, I don't like it here. I don't like this one here. let's make some. So I'm moving just those sizes and doing that. Generate another block.
That's got. You wouldn't be able to, if you just click the magic button and it generated everything at once. You'd be
No.
You wouldn't know where to start because you're just overwhelmed. There's too much to fix at once. I like this approach of doing it block by block because you're systematically going through. But are you able to? Can you copy a block and paste a block somewhere else? Like, can you go, all right, I've got these 10 blocks looking good. I don't need to make every block unique. I can just repeat some of the ones that I've already done. No one's going to notice.
Okay, for example, here we have this system of, okay, generate blocks. Okay, I'm generating blocks. Generate buildings, okay. Now I'm putting this generate buildings, okay. So this is a most simple thing is like we have to wait a few moments. So it will generate all the buildings right now on every block, but it's not my my personal opinion is that you have to start with blocks, you know, like block by block.
Yeah, but can you copy one block and paste a block somewhere else though?
It should be. I'm not sure if it's possible. I don't remember anymore.
Let's have one.
No, it's like no. I have to select all the. No, I can do this thing. You know, I can move this one, and then say generate block. So this will give you a possibility to do this one. You know.
But now you've lost the original one. So but if I
do this, if I move this thing, and I click on generate block, it will always move the same buildings. You know.
Yeah.
If I didn't change any parameters, if I change some parameters, so it's like. But you see, for example, these blocks aren't that powerful, so I can move them, you know, like split this thing or this thing, for example, and then I can say, okay, generate block. So it will, but it will always generate some kind of problem, maybe some kind of problem, you know, not always, no. In some cases, it will generate. Sometimes it's creatively beautiful. Sometimes it's a mess. So best way is just, okay, you know, I don't like this one. You know, I can examine this one and see, okay, this one looks nice. Maybe this building should be taller. And this is my approach. It's like how it's meant to work, how it's meant to be. It is meant to be also inspirational thing. I don't know how to say differently. You know.
The when you've made a block, can you disable the block so it doesn't have any buildings, and then at runtime generate the buildings?
No. This is a completely no. This isn't no, because it wouldn't be. Okay. The problem is that we didn't clear one thing at the start, and this is that Seascape is ultra optimized, so it's like runs at millions of no, not millions, but.
Millions of frames a second.
Let's see here.
It runs so fast, your graphics card explodes. It can't keep up with it.
No, for example, let's see here stats. This one that doesn't run now.
So it's not like you have to do extra optimization. I wouldn't have to do any weird, like culling or anything. I wouldn't have to disable anything in the scene to improve performance.
Yeah, this right now runs at 190. Wait, yeah, 100. Wait, sorry, because I have here resolution of 2500. Okay, this is okay. So I'm running this right now. Okay, this is the thing about Seascape. It uses serious drawcalls optimizations. Most of any city will have. You see, right now I'm running at 500 frames per second.
We'll take your word for it. All I get is a blur on Zoom. I can't really see any text.
I don't know how to. I don't have any.
So you're getting 500. What about when you move around?
Yeah, yeah. I don't have any controller right now here, but yeah, you see, I'm getting here 600. You know, it's like 600 frames per second. So it's for this kind of city that is, you know, if you model this one with that many types of modification, like variations and things like that, it will be, I don't know, it will go at 30 frames per second. So it's like 500, yeah, 550 frames per second. CPU 1.8 milliseconds. Render time 1.1 millisecond. And set pass calls, and this is the most important thing, is 53.
For everything.
53. Yeah. So it's like if I take whole city and put it in my viewport. Okay, it's impossible to take whole city, but okay. It's 42 pass calls. Yeah, because we had some pass calls here on the sky. It's without the sky, it's 42 pass calls. It's why this happens? Because whole city is uses all buildings in this city use only one material. So every building uses same material, Mega City 1. And this can be customized. If you want to change your city, you can use another material or things like that. So what usually breaks down any performance is are the drawcalls. How many drawcalls makes, because it goes to a CPU and also for GPU. It's a big problem. By having everything, by having possibility to use only one material on the whole scene, you can use thousands of buildings. Here are thousands of buildings. I don't know how many, but I think that there are really many. Yeah, it's like, this is the list of the buildings. It doesn't finish. So it's like one material for buildings, one for streets, one for some other thing, one for, I don't know, for details and things like that. Because every material is a procedural material. So it's like, it's not a standard shader. And
so what are you using? So what are you using for your shader?
I'm using Amplify shader here. I will show you what this shader looks. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, this is the shader of my.
Wow! Oh my God!
Yeah, this is whole system. So it's, but everything is here. So most of the task is done by
Hang on.
GPU.
Hang on. Put your shading up, put amplify shading up back on. I was trying to see those nodes. There's like, what's that? 1,000 nodes in your.
Yeah. It's but it's still optimized. It's not like it works. It works even on mobile. There are some limitations on mobile because depending on devices and everything, like mobile doesn't support enough texture, so
Oh my
you
god!
can deactivate some things. But for example, this is only because I have to, you know, I don't know if you know how materials work. Materials work that there are properties, and if you make a new property, a new material, a new property, if you just need to change this glass, you know, you will have to make new material or make. But in my case, I'm not making new materials. I'm using always the same material. I'm changing my mesh data, and I'm compressing data on UV coordinates. So you see, if I change here, yeah, this is for, okay, no, this isn't important. No, this is material, sorry. I can globally change things on material. But if I change here, I can change my shapes, my facade. I'm not changing mesh. It's not, but you know, I will have always here 2 triangles in reality. Now we are looking at 2 triangles. But I'm changing here properties of this. Yeah, wait a second. Window lights. Okay, here I'm turning on lights. I'm opening this
And
blinds.
you could change those at runtime, the sliders for the lights and things. Like you could have a script that's you know, randomly
No,
has.
no,
Or no.
no, because yeah, we started from that one. Main thing here is if you want to Unity to work fine, you have to not Unity, anything. So you're tagging everything like static. So it's like static objects. They are baked. So right now I'm not baking because all these calculations have some use CPU, you know. It's like, you see, right now, I don't know, my CPU can go up or down because I'm changing here properties of this mesh. So if you change your mesh,
how would you do like turning the lights on and off then if you were at runtime?
no, this is globally controlled. So for example, I have here my, I'm having only one direct light here. No, not only. I'm having one direct light. And as I move this light, it will turn on the lights.
Oh.
So it will know if main light, let's say sunlight, is turned on or is there, you know.
Yeah, but now
And
are all of those lights gonna stay static, or are some of them gonna be turning on and off and like...
You can control it. It's enough to control rotation of the light. You see.
No, I don't
because,
mean that directional light. I mean the light in the windows of the buildings, so that you've got kind of simulation that the city's alive,
yeah,
and not just a static.
no. If I turn right now, if I take this, you see.
Yeah.
Lights change. And I can also say define a curve for this. So it's like, oh, sorry, I have pushed up this intensity of this light. Oh my God, what happened? No, okay. I have to. Okay, no, because I had to refresh the here. So I'm turning this on. Okay, I'm rotating it. You see, when there is a night coming, lights will turn off. Or will turn on. When the morning is coming, lights will turn off. But I can also control
okay.
it from here. Like you have here, they call. Yeah, I can here define, for example, color of my sun, so it will influence whole the scene. But I can also say here, curve. This one is how much those lights are turning on. I have just to find where we are here. Okay, you see, if I turn this on, so I can animate this one, for example. If I say, okay, go up, go down, go up, go down, I will have sort of lights turning out. And
You said before that you can change the textures.
that goes track.
So you said that you could change the textures of the buildings and the material that if people wanted, so you don't have to have Mega City 1 textures. You can have your own custom textures.
Yeah.
But how do you set your custom texture to know where the windows are?
We have this Seascape tool set that is practically Baker for this type of thing. So I'm going to do this Seascape Baker and previous tile. Okay, I'm setting here previous tile. You see, I can change here any building shape. These are all. I will show you probably this. This is better. These are all the types of the shapes of the buildings that we have here. So it's like 1, 2, 3. It's 20 building shapes and 10 floor shapes. This can be extended, but yeah, in the new version it will be extended to have much more than this. But at this moment we are having only it. So while I'm looking here, I will show you this. It works with depth maps. Depth bump maps or anything like that, you know. So for example, this is a depth map of a statue. Let's see how it's made. Wall element here. Wait, open. No. Wait a second. Okay, if I take this one, if I resize it, you will see that it resizes on the wall.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so if I take this this window, you know, like border of the window, I can move it like this. I don't know. I have here one this. I don't want it there. I want it to move here. I don't know. Or I want this window to be a little bit different, you know. I don't need this. Or I want to create some windows here down, you know, or to create one window here. I'm just moving these textures that are black and white textures. Everything that is completely black is transparent. So we are getting here inside of the buildings with those transparent. And everything that is white is in front. Then there is a green color that defines material. So this material, those that are red right now, there will be secondary materials. So it's like, yes, make it, move it, and it's pretty. Then I go here again. I want to change this one. I have here already some pre-made Let's see. Oops, where are we? Here. Okay. We have some pre-made objects here. Position. Oops. You see, if I move this, what happens?
You spend a lot of time getting set up, but once you've done, you can make unlimited variations. It's just crazy.
Yeah. This is like, okay. And then, for example, you create a few materials, and then you use it in Seascape and change those values as you wish,
Well, I'm sitting here blown away by how powerful this is, and we've had comments in chat saying, "Where are all his drinks coming from? Every time I look away and come back, he has a different drink. Is he magic?" And I was actually just thinking the same thing. I looked down, and there you are with a glass of wine.
No, it's always the same. It's always the same. Yeah, I have a coffee here, but it's like coffee. Is this?
Yeah. You had a can earlier. Now you've got a glass.
Yeah. I have this. Yeah. But it's yeah. Of course, yeah. You're right. I forgot it almost.
Fresh Meat saying he wants to try with Cinti Studio stuff. I don't think this would work with the Cinti Studios models. Fresh Meat.
What is Cinti Studio models?
The polygon buildings. Have you seen those?
I don't know how they're made, but no. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I will try to explain one more thing that is pretty interesting here, but it's yeah, how to explain. Yeah, for example, I showed you already this thing about custom shaping of the buildings, but here are, for example, some other type of the buildings that was initially made for Seascape that are can be pretty complex. For example, let's take this one out just to see, it's like this. So it can be resized for this axis, for this axis. There are some roof elements that will be there, and I don't know. Then we have some other types of buildings that are, let's see. Okay, this one is a good example. We have here a building. It can be resized like this and like this.
So what if we've got one of our own custom meshes then that we want to make into a Seascape building?
You can make custom meshes. There is a tutorial on YouTube on how it should work, probably. How they yeah, but it's more for poly how it's called, building model in Unity, poly builder. Yeah, so it's pretty simple to me. Yeah, this is, for example, another building that was made. So it used custom meshes, but there are some things that are like I will show you in a moment how this original mesh is. Original mesh is this one. Wait a second. Template configuration. This is the original mesh.
So I'm guessing it's something like with a sprite where you're saying, okay, these are the corners. These are so when you stretch it stretches the middle bits, not the corner
practically
bits.
Defining slicing centers. So any vertex that is here or there, it will go to one or the other side. You see, if I change this one, This is vertical resize center. This is horizontal, like one axis on the other. So I don't know how much it can be seen here. So if I change this value, it will resize differently. Yeah, there are some things that are also pretty complex to explain, because how they work, who knows? You have to try, because it's like it's impossible to explain really.
What's the limits that you've got on the complex mesh? Like what kind of mesh can I use to convert into this?
Simple meshes, because if you already have a building that has openings for windows, you can't use it. You will get a horrible thing, you know. It's not like
so as long as it's basically a box with other boxes on it, you're pretty much okay. If it's a primitive shape with other primitive shapes on it.
Yeah. For example, I don't know. This one, for example, has a slated roof, you know, and it will scale very well. It like works, but yeah, they have to have defined corners. It's mostly like working with 2D sprites.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It's like you've got a 2D sprite and you've sliced it and basically said, okay, now it's not gonna squish the corners. It's only squishing and stretching the middle bits.
Yeah.
Question in chat: do you have to change the UV map on the custom mesh, or is it UV map independent?
You have to choose a scale of your object. Only thing that is important is that everything is like 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters. So it's like one section. This one section is 1 meter in your modeling program. So it's like, even if this section in reality will be between 3 meters and less, but in your it will be 3 meters. But in your modeling program, it should be 1 meter every section. So like 3 meters of the building is 1 meter in a modeling program. Just for simplicity of use, but for UVs, I have an option here that automatically UVs everything. So it's use rooftop template configuration. Yeah, we can also specify that model units aren't 1 meter, but yeah, use automap UV. If we don't use it, yeah, okay, this was modeled well, but some others that aren't modeled well, you should use this one. Use automap.
There's a lovely comment in chat. See, he is magic. How they work, it's impossible to explain, really. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really, you know, I'm I don't know.
Basically, if you want to know how it works, put exclamation mark Seascape in chat. Go over to the asset store, and you can pick it up and read through the code, and then you can learn how it's made.
No, main things. Everything here is mostly explained when you go up. So, no, this isn't. But it's like, no.
So you don't have a 500-page manual, but you've got tooltips on things.
Yeah, some tooltips, yes, but other things are self-explanatory. So it's like, okay, I think. But there are always some things that maybe can be a little bit more complex or less complex, but
Are you going to make tutorial videos when Seascape 2 comes out?
no, I hope so. I hope so because, but I really, what I'm trying to say, there are so many things. So it's right now my support works like, okay, I want something. You can ask me on forum, and I will explain how this can be done, or if it can be done or can be done. You know. But I should probably no. I have to make some tutorials, serious tutorials, because most on this type of creative works, you know. Because, for example, one of the things that I like is like stacking different buildings one on the so like, okay, I'm duplicating this building and I'll stack it after generating city, you know. I'll stack it here and
I tell you what,
make a different building.
let's have one
Because
more.
many buildings in the world are stacked. You know, like, of course, right now there are tools for this. For example, right now, because every building has a floor shape and upper shape of the building. So I don't want here a floor shape. It's enough to go here and say, yeah, I will turn it off graffiti, for example, and turn off building has no floor shape.
I like that. One tick. One tick. I like it. I like a one tick.
And there is, for example, another thing. If you have to place that is default in you in Seascape, I'm using always a flat surface. But if you want to add, wait a second, where it is, I have to find it. Okay, extend foundations. Okay. Extend foundations. I can put this one and extend foundations. Yeah, this is for terrain, so it won't work with building has no floors. Okay, so but if I want to extend foundations, so if I have here terrain, it will fit terrain, so it will create empty space like.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so you don't have any like gaps underneath your building where it's hovering over the air. That's nice.
Yeah. So if you have to make something custom like San Francisco and things like that, or any curve fitted to any curved surface, you can do it.
Talking about curves, are you able to make that river curvy, or is it just always a straight river?
No, because it follows everything that is here, right? The leader, because, for example, for river, you have to use reflection plane, reflection probe. If you don't use a reflection probe, you will have wrong reflections. But if I use a reflection probe, because a reflection probe can't have a different shape. Everybody can put some no. If you make your own custom terrain, then it's okay, but otherwise it's impossible. Right now, I'm really trying to find some way for making cities with curved streets and things like that, but I think that it's always better to use 3D modeling software to optimize things. You know, Seascape is not, or to use things like easy roads. Easy roads are made for that.
So are you able to take the grid that's been laid down with Seascape and then like have some kind of tool for splines, or is it literally a case of Seascape's down, and then you'll have to manually put your splines for your roads down and your streets down?
No, I don't have any tools for splining yet. I was thinking of doing some tools, but there were some scripts of some fine users that they did some scripts for placing buildings on the borders of easy roads. It's available on the support forum.
Well, Seascape buildings.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we have a great community at the end, I think, because there are many persons that are trying to help and to write some tutorials and things like that. Because
we got a question from Sengoku saying, "Can I send a building and you put a shader on it so I can see what it looks like?" Talking about your community, is that something like, is he worth him popping over to your community and seeing what help you can get from people?
yes, no problem.
Is it a disc? What are you? Is it on Discord, or is it the Unity forums, or your own website? How do people get involved?
Unity forum. Yeah. It can be found. Link is on Asset Store.
Seascape's done with Amplify Shader, and when the guys came in, they're in chat now. Amplify, you in chat? Speak up. They show. Hello, Amplify. They were showing me on the stream how you can take your Amplify normal one and just do a magic click, and suddenly it's done as a HDRP Amplify graph.
Yes. No, the nice thing about this is that all my shaders are open, so anyone who wants to change them, even modify some properties or optimize some things, because I'm putting everything in those shaders, so it's like many things that are there that maybe aren't necessary for all persons. So if they have an Amplify shader, they can just strip that code away and do things.
Did you try sticking your Amplify shader into HDRP and
No, I'm also I'm supporting, but it's partially supported because Seascape requires some image effects, and unfortunately Unity 2020 doesn't support any more custom image effects.
Really?
Yeah, at the moment. So because right now 2019 works with post-processing stack 2, and the new one has a new system of post-processing, and it isn't open yet, so we can't make any changes to. There is no way to create post-processing shaders. So this is my problem, because for example, all that thing that we saw about customizing buildings and everything, it's all related to post-processing effects. It has to use it uses some post-processing effects.
So last year, when I was trying to grab you last year to come on, I wanted to do some videos on my. I was making a cyberpunk game, where in the brief time that I had. So I wanted to make a cyberpunk version of a Seascape, and like nice neon lights and everything. But Sanyo in chat is making a very good point that if you made packs that were like variations, like add-on packs of different themes, buildings, like cyberpunk or steampunk or anything else, people would be crazy for it and they'll just be buying them. So not even having to make like any new features, just make packs of
Yeah,
buildings and textures of
this
different
is my
sites.
idea behind this. It was like making packs. But one of the main reasons why I'm not still doing this, because I want my system to be robust, that it works and that it's easy to work with it and that it's final defined. Okay. And probably my personal problem, because if I was I don't know, some big company, then I would have to make choice to stop my development. But I'm always developing, so it's a problem because I always have more ideas and I always want to add something, but then if you have to add something, then you have to go back and do things. So I'm not sure. I don't want to come out with Seascape 2 without fixing all the things that I think that should be fixed and made, you know. And one of the other reasons was that I really lost really much time about trying to implement HDRP.
Yeah, going down HDRP road's gonna kill you. So, I mean, we've got so many people in chat who've had many different HDRP stories. I won't go into it because we stay positive and optimistic. Now it's time to put the RTX to work. Oh yeah, you got your new graphics card, fresh meat. You're gonna have a lot of fun with Decard, doing some funky things. Sanya's asking, are people allowed to make their own Seascape texture packs and sell them on the asset store?
Yes, of course. It's I'm supporting this. Absolutely. This was an idea. That's why I'm giving this Seascape toolset, and I will be happy that someone who wants to make some packs and do things, you know.
Sanyo,
because also it's not said that you have to make just like skins, because here you can make skins, okay, but you can also make some build your own cities from it, you know, like, okay, let's use Seascape and build my city. It will require Seascape, of course, but anyone who has a Seascape can use that city. So it's not a problem, you know. Only thing that is important, you can't include your shaders, but someone have to, if they want to use your city, they have to buy a Seascape, it's of course.
I want, Sanyo, you make it, I'm gonna buy it, because I still need to finish my Cyberpunk game, and like you're saying, it's not extremely difficult to work out how to use Seascape. It's very time consuming to because it's so big, and like Wizards Don't Code was mentioning earlier, the Seascape is so powerful and complex in what it can do that he's had it for a while and he's only now scratching the surface of what you can actually do with it. So get your hands on Seascape, !Seascape in chat, and can't wait to see what you are coming up with. Congratulations, Gilda and Wizards Don't Code and Fresh Meat for winning. Ollie, so I won't keep you too long as it's your birthday. I'll let you go and blow out the candles on your cake. Thank you so much for coming in, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a lot of fun.
It was a pleasure also for me, and thank you for calling me in.
Oh, thank you for coming. I wish you'd told me it was your birthday. I would have made you a cake. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.